You were so on track last month. Now, well, wow. It's just like you lost your rhythm. You just can't get traction. You're stuck with this horrible feeling of being non-productive and just can't move forward. I mean, it's almost just depressing. You ever experience that? You're doing so well, and then boom. I mean, it's almost like you just fall into this place, and it's just awful. We're going to talk about that today. I want to thank you for listening to Jerry Edmon podcast. I'm really wanting to spend some personal time with you today and help you get the resources that you need to move you forward with success in life. There's a word that I want to bring up today. It's called the doldrums. I remember when I was a kid, I heard that word, and I really never knew the definition. I had the gist of it. I mean, I understood the doldrums. It was just kind of a depressive place, a low place that just like you couldn't get out of. Well, I did some research on it, and here's what I found. The doldrums is a nautical term that refers to a belt around the earth near the equator. And that's a place where sometimes sailing ships would get stuck on windless waters. In other words, no wind. I mean, that's just a little bit freaky. It looks like something you'd see in some sci-fi movie. No wind, the doldrums. And it's noted for these calm periods whenever the wind just simply disappears altogether, trapping sailing ships for a period of days or sometimes even weeks. No wind, no momentum. You're just sitting there. You're just locked into this place. And boy, what a horrible feeling just to be sitting there. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing to help move me along. I don't know about you, but I've had seasons in my life where that happened, and it's like I know to do something, I want to do something, but man, I just can't make myself do it. I can't. I just can't make myself do what I know needs to be done. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about how to get out of that place. And the way that I'm going to do this today is I'm going to talk to you about routines. I know that sounds really exciting, but I'm just telling you, that's the solution whenever you're locked into a place that you can't get out of. Routines, and we all have routines. Don't act like you don't have them. Actually, we're creatures of habit and routine. We've got routines and everything. Matter of fact, we find security in routines because it's so predictable. I think it's kind of comfortable to us. We drive to work the same way. When men shave, they start shaving in the same spot and in the same way every single time, and usually at about the same time. I mean, you have a routine with how you brush your teeth. It's amazing how many things in our life are already entrenched routines, and that's okay because it keeps us productive and it keeps us organized, I guess you could say. But this is the answer to those doldrums. I mean, if you're in a place to where you had so much momentum last week, last month, but it's almost like you just lost your way. The routines are the thing. The rhythm is the thing that's going to help get you out of that place. See, there's a rhythm to your life that enables you to operate at your fullest potential. And you know it when it happens. You know when you hit your groove. Man, I'm just telling you something. It feels good. I'm being productive. Everything starts coming together. I remember wasn't that terribly long ago, I got off track with my exercise routine, and I'm not been able to find my way back. I mean, when I stopped my routine, I lost my rhythm. And I think that's really important. I need to say that to you again. When I stopped my routine, I lost my rhythm, and everything was thrown off. I mean, it's like I fall into neutral, and I just cease to be productive. I don't know about you, but I function to my highest ability when I have routines because they help me find my rhythm. And this is especially important when you hit a lower non-productive season in your life. I mean, all of us find ourselves there. And this is important. One analogy that I have is the fact that it's kind of like the surfer sitting on his board. He's waiting for the right wave to come along. He may appear to be uninvolved, but in reality, he's positioned to catch the next opportunity. See, he can't create the wave, but he just anticipates it and he prepares for it. See, life happens whether you're ready for it or not. Routines keep you in line and provide an attitude that's positive and disciplined. So the routines that you have, they're so important for your life because they keep you positioned when opportunity comes. In other words, routines keep you positioned for what's in front of you. You know, there's times in your life when you just flat hit an idle spot in your journey. It's kind of like a time of just waiting, a time of resting, of pruning. I mean, we all have those things, and too often we don't understand those seasons of our life. But it's during those times that we become distracted, we become discouraged, we become confused. These times hold the greatest dangers for us because during those times you get off track and boom, man, I'm telling you something. You can, in a heartbeat, you can be going the wrong direction. I've seen people get discouraged because it seemed like nothing was moving forward in their life. I mean, I've been guilty of that myself. I start thinking things like, well, maybe I'm finished with my job here and I just need to start looking for some other opportunity elsewhere. Well, it just seems like nothing's happening in my life. Come on, every one of you have said that. And in the natural, sometimes things like that happen. In the natural, we have seasons in our life, you know, like spring, summer, winter, fall. And, you know, sometimes you think winter is like never going to end, or summer is never going to end. I don't know about you, but fall is my favorite time. I love the color, I love the feel, I love the smell of the air. And sometimes it just seems like the summer is just going on for so long and it's so hot. And it's one of those things you're thinking, is it never going to end? And your life is much the same way. You go through certain things and it's just a season in your life when it just feels like nothing's being productive. But here's what happens. Routines keep you in the game even when you feel like the game's not going on. In other words, it insulates you against uncertainty and discouragement. Routines keep you in this mode of being productive. It keeps you engaged. Routines are so important because it keeps you at a moment's notice ready to take advantage of the next opportunity. That's what routines do. It's more than just something to have activity or productivity. It actually keeps you in the game, and when something pops its head up, boom, you're ready. I mean, it settles you when you don't see much progress because it gives you a sense of productivity and accomplishment. But I'm telling you something, it's also keeping you positioned. It keeps a watermark in front of you as you kind of go through your day just to fight off discouragement. Another thing it does, it gives you a track record so you can look back and see what you've been doing even when it feels like nothing's going on. And that's so important because there are some times in your life when nothing is going on. But the fact is, routines keep the rhythm of your life in place that when something pops its head up, you're not caught off guard. You're right there. You're ready to take advantage of the thing. It keeps you on track. It keeps you in your rhythm. You know, I want to relate this to the golf game. I love the game of golf. It has been something that has, for many, many years, has brought such pleasure to me. And I've learned so many things about myself through the game of golf. But I want to share something with you. When a golfer's swing gets out of whack, and sooner or later, it's going to happen. I don't care who he is. The way he handles that is he always goes back to his routine. The routine, it helps him see if he's picked up some bad habit. You know, there's times at the top of my swing or even my follow through when I'm dropping the club down through the ball, there's certain checkpoints that I can look at in my routine to determine if I've picked up some bad habits or whatever the case is. So that's what a golfer does. A good golfer, he always goes back to his routine when he starts getting out of whack, and that just helps him see where he's picked up bad habits. He has checkpoints in his swing so he can measure his results against what's happening. You know, there's a lot of times you hit that darn ball and you can't figure why it's doing what it's doing. I mean, all I know is I'm in the trees and I don't know how I got there, and I don't even know what I'm doing wrong. And so that's why it's so important for you to have routines even in your golf game. What it does is it helps you know: am I coming through? Am I moving my hips too far ahead? Are my hands too far in front, or am I having an outside in swing? Is it an inside out swing? All of my routines help me to know kind of what I'm doing. And this checkpoint in his swing is where he can measure himself. And that's the same thing with you. You'll have checkpoints in your routine that'll help you know whether or not you're on or you're off track. Okay? And a person with no routine in his life will soon get off track and not know it. I mean, he just can't see that he's doing anything wrong. He just knows he can't stay out of the woods. I mean, there's been times when I did not have a routine, and it was just like I'm dealing with things literally that are cloaked. I can't tell what it is, and I can't measure against what I see on the outside, and I can't measure what I'm doing on the inside because I didn't have a routine. But see, whenever you have a routine, you can go back and you can measure your life. I just encourage you to develop a routine for your life. Set a routine in what time you get up in the morning, what time you go to bed at night. Set a routine in your prayer, your meditation time, making your bed or jogging in the morning. I mean, just set routines of how you keep your possessions, how you keep your desk or your sock drawer. You know what I'm saying? How you keep your house clean. What do you do to go through and keep your house clean, and so you can get on with the rest of it? It's just, I mean, these things are very important. I heard a man one time. He was a sergeant in the Army, and he was talking about the reason they had to make their bed, and it wasn't just so they could have a nice, neat bed in the mornings. He said what they wanted to do is to give them a routine that provided a success early in the morning. In other words, they have a successful activity done and taken care of before they even get started with their day. They've got success already under their belt. And so they wanted them to do that, to develop a routine to begin to get success going in your life. So create routines. I encourage you to create routines with holidays or special events. I mean, that isn't a rut. Those are things that are very important. I think Thanksgiving, when during that time, what a wonderful time to have a routine to where you cut the turkey, you gather your family around the table, you join hands, you celebrate one another. I mean, these are huge events, and they make such a difference in your life. And it just kind of keeps everything going on purpose and with intention. These are the things that keeps disarray from spreading into the opportunities that come into your life. See, most of the people, they miss opportunities because their life is so cluttered that they can't see those things. I mean, that's really the truth. We all have dreams. I know we do. We have goals for our lives. But I promise you that those things are not going to just happen. They're not. You need to ask yourself this question. When it comes to my dreams, when it comes to my plans, what kind of structure do I need to get there? What kind of routines do I need to move me forward in my life? Man, that's a huge question. Routines, it brings rhythm to your life. It brings consistency to your life. And I promise you, it can move you into a whole new area of success like you have never had before. Routines, man, I'll tell you, that's just so important. Hey, thanks for listening to Jerry Edmon podcast today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you want more resources, you can contact me at jerryedmon.com, and we'll get the resources that you need to help you move forward with success.